Hey guys, this is Carrie, and this is the answer key video for homework number 3. That pen looks a little bit too thick, so let's try to resize it. Perfect. Okay, so to start off, we're given a function f of x, but instead of being given it algebraically, we're given it graphically. So we need to find these values. So when we have a number inside the parentheses, that means this is the input value, so this is going to be the x value. And we need to compute the output value. So the way we do this is we go to the x value of 10. So on the x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we get to the point 10, 2. So when the input is 10, the output value is 2. One more of these. When the input value is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the output value is 8. Just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the y-axis. The rest of them, I think you can do. Problem number 2 is pretty similar. Let's do the first 3. Actually, I'm going to let you do f of 5. We can do b and c. So for b and c, determine a if f of 3 equals a. The most important thing to do here is to classify your input inside of the parentheses, which is x, and your output outside of the parentheses, whatever it's equal to, whatever's coming out, the y. So when we input 3 in for x, we go to 1, 2, 3 on the x-axis. The coordinate point here is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And so the output value must be 5. The next problem looks really similar. Determine b if f of b equals 3. But here 3 is the output value, which means it's going to be the y-coordinate. And the thing we're looking for is the input value, the x-coordinate. So let's find out when the output is 3. So we go to 3 on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3. And we look for a point that has that y-coordinate. I see one here. This is the point -4, 3. So it looks like in order to get an output of 3, the input has to be -4. Okay, I'm going to leave the other two for you to figure out so I can check and make sure that you understand this. Which equation is represented by the graph below? Now this is a particularly mean regions question because all of these lines are in a format that's not very useful. So we really want, when we graph a line, to have the format y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these option by option and check which one matches the line. For me, the easiest way to do this, though, is to actually just find the equation of this line. So to find the equation of this purple line, I want y equals mx plus b. And so, let's see, it has a y-intercept of -5. So the y-intercept value will be -5 for b. And when I look at the slope looks like it's going, let me zoom in here, it looks like it's going down 2 and then over 1 to get from one point to the next point. So I think the slope is going to be down 2 over 1, and then x will be here. This equation can be more simply written as -2 over 1 is -2, x minus 5. So now we need to see which of these equations matches that. So if we look at choice number 1, solving for y, let's see, minus x on both sides, 2y equals -x plus 10 divided by 2 on both sides. Y is equal to, here we had -1x, so it'll be -1 over 2, can't be simplified out of a fraction. X 10 over 2 is +5. Now, this equation does not match the slope nor the y-intercept, so that's out. Let me just mark that as choice number 1 that I was testing there. Now when I test choice number 2, I'll use this one. So for choice 2, y minus 2x equals -5. It looks very close, but we need our format y equals mx plus v to verify. We add 2x on both sides to isolate y. That gives us y equals 2x minus 5. And that is also incorrect. We want negative 2x, so this one is out. For number 3, let's use the pink marker. So number 3, we'll test here. This is negative 2y equals 10x minus 4. We divide by negative 2 on both sides. That gives us y equals 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5x. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. And that also doesn't match. It's got the numbers in the wrong spot and some sign issues. Lastly, we should verify that this one is actually correct. So let's test it here. Problem 4. 2y equals negative 4x minus 10. Dividing by 2 on both sides gives us y equals negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. Negative 10 over 2 is negative 5. And this exactly matches the equation that we found for the line, so this must be the right choice. Okay, determine the slope of a line passing through the points negative 7, 2, and 5, negative 4. So to do this, one way to do it is we can use our slope formula. The slope of a line is equal to the second y-coordinate minus the first y-coordinate, and the second x-coordinate minus the first x-coordinate. So, because this is the second point, right here, to me this is y2, the second y-coordinate, and the second x-coordinate. The first y-coordinate and the first x-coordinate. Now all we have to do is substitute into our formula. We do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is probably the step that's most important to be careful about, because our x1 value is negative and the formula itself has a minus. We get minus a minus. Okay, so we just need to simplify this. So negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. 5 minus a minus becomes plus. 5 plus 7 becomes 12. So m is equal to negative 1/2 when we reduce the numerator and denominator by 6. Next up, we've got a production company who's looking to hire 2 editors. They like both of them equally, so it's just coming down to finances. So I'm going to be looking at the first of these editors and letting you do the second one for each one of these parts. So the first editor charges an initial fee of $3,000. So, and $20 per hour for each hour that she spends editing the project. So even if this editor spends 0 hours editing the project, she's going to make $3,000. So hours and money. If she works 1 hour, she gets $20 per hour, so she'll make the $3,000 that she made before plus an extra 20. And each hour she works, she's going to make an extra $20. So let me fill in some of these here. So after 2 hours, she makes the $3,000 plus 20 plus 20 for $3,040. After 3 hours, she makes the $3,000 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 for a total of $3,060 in 3 hours. So now what we want is we want an equation that will work for any number of hours. So when we're looking at 3 hours, the amount of money she makes, and they want us to use the variable C1 here. C1 is equal to $3,000 plus 20 times 3, because she worked 3 hours. If instead of working 3 hours, we wanted to work 10 hours, we would just have to add 20 times 10, because she worked 10 hours and gets $20 10 times for each of those hours. So if instead of working 10 hours, we wanted to work T hours, then our formula will become start with 3,000 and add 20 each hour, so 20 times the total number of hours, T. And that equation can of course be written as C1 equals 20T plus 3,000, so that we have our y-intercept form. Now you're going to have to do the same thing over here for the second editor. Let me use a different color, sorry. The second editor. But I'm going to let you do that. Okay? So then next up for part B, it says the director estimates that the film will require 70 hours of editing. Given this estimate, calculate the cost of hiring each of the editors. So since we have the equation for C1, we can plug in 70. So 20 times 70 hours plus 3,000 becomes C1 equals 1,400 plus 3,000. C1 is equal to $4,400. In order to find the next one, you'll need to do the math to actually compute from the equation that you find what value you'll get. So the next step, based on that, you can decide which editor they should hire. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you in class on tomorrow.